What's up, everybody? This week's episode is episode 10 of Inside the Pocket. We are going to recap our week, talk some fantasy football and NFL. We got our NHL and a little bit of soccer talk. We got our wow stories of the week, followed up by what we would do if we were president, some conspiracy theories, a catfish taco Tinder talk, and some debatables. And of course, we ended with our beer review. Well, let's go.
Welcome to Inside the Pocket. I am so excited. I am your host, Austin Robinson, and with me, as always, my co-host, Gavin.
What's up, guys? As always, this episode is brought to you by Barrel's Taphouse in O'Fallon, Missouri, and Vape Store in Lake St. Louis, Missouri. We'll have some more info on those awesome sponsors later on in the show, but let's kick it off. Austin, how's your week been so far?
My week has been pretty banger. I went back to work on Monday, but then, I was off on Tuesday, and I went to Six Flags, and it was hot as balls, and I had a great time. However, from our vacation week, we were out in the sun pretty frequently, and now my back looks like somebody put a cheese grater to it, and I just got dead skin rolling all off me.
I had a lot coming off the back of my neck, mostly from Warped Tour. We got a lot of sun that Monday when we played golf, but now I got a pretty good, bad radio, but check that out. Got a pretty good little tan line going. Looks pretty good, got some color. I didn't get Tuesday off, but had a pretty easy day at work all week, and except for Friday, I'm taking over this kind of shit show of a job, but hey, that's why I make the big bucks.
Hey, that's why you make the monies, which I'm excited to be making monies again, because that week off kind of fucking sucked, not having much income.
Yeah, into it. We're still Gucci, but definitely like making the bigger paychecks.
Yes, absolutely.
I did some photo edits this week. Haven't done any of those in a while. I've been working on my stream. Nice. And working on the podcast and stuff like that. And I joined a sand volleyball league, which I dominated in the other night.
There you go.
And we will be sponsoring a paintball team. Don't even know the name of the team right now, but we're going to be sponsoring
It's a future sponsorship that we're giving out. We're not getting a sponsor. We are sponsoring.
We are now sponsoring other people. So we are regifting things that we get from our sponsorships and then packaging it up and helping other people. So we're giving in hopes that people will want to give to us.
Yeah.
And so, helping each other out. But I did get an awesome t-shirt. I now have a merch store live on my Twitch TV channel. So if you go to twitch.tv/GD_live, there's a button you can click to either donate to my channel or buy merch. And on that page is another Inside the Pocket t-shirt,
which is going to be exclusive to your channel.
Exclusive to my Twitch channel. So if you want to support me in the stream and the podcast, go there, click on that, buy you a badass red Inside the Pocket shirt, and it will support me in my stream, and I would love you very much. I'll give you a shout out. A little alert pops up on the screen to say that you did that, and I will thank you forever. Maybe we'll even give you a shout out on the next podcast.
Yeah, can I just go ahead and let you know the one spot you fucked up putting that shirt on there?
What?
Why did you not make it match your thing? Your colors are like neon yellow and black and white. You should have made the shirt like...
I could do that too, but I wanted something just a little... I didn't want it to like brand it for the stream. I wanted it to be another theme because we have the blue shirt, so I wanted to do the red shirts too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And since the Falcons are my team, it's a little me too. Okay. But I might do one. I might do one where it's black and then have the
like outline yellow and then the white in the center.
Yeah, so I might do that. That's a good idea. So check that out if you're interested. I actually changed my Facebook name to my Twitch channel also. It's GD Live on Twitch, which Facebook battled me for like 3 weeks on allowing me to change the name, so fuck you, Facebook. And I started doing intermittent fasting again this week, and I'm already down 8 pounds. It's something I experimented with in the past, but my diet's been shit in the past few months. After returning from working out of town, it's been a struggle to get back on there, but me and Nicole might be switching gyms, joining Club Fitness, and we've really kind of got our diet back on track other than the weekends.
My running has slowly and steadily went down, but I mean, it takes me almost little to no motivation to actually be like, you know what, I'm going to go run today. So I'm probably just taking a small break and then I'll get back on it. I haven't really gained any weight since I stopped, so I'm fine with where I'm at.
And that's one thing that's going to help me too. If I join a couple of these same volleyball leagues and we're playing golf every weekend, that's going to be a lot more physical activity that I would just be sitting around.
Let's talk about golf. We played golf today, actually.
Yeah.
And we did tremendously better than we did last weekend.
I improved 1,000%.
Yes, and your boy hit a birdie.
Yeah,
so
I was happy for you.
I was pretty stoked to win the game, to clutch it out.
So we were tied at the last hole, which means a lot for me too, because granted, this is actually still part 2 of my first game ever. We played the front 9 of the course, Pheasant Run and O'Fallon, last weekend, played the second half this weekend, and it even rained on us, and I think I shot way better this week.
Yeah, you did, and you only lost 2 balls?
Yeah, one to water and one went into some brush, and we that was a mystery ball.
I found 4 other balls before I found yours.
Yeah, and we were like, what the fuck? But I had a great time. I'm really enjoying it. One thing I was telling Austin, I think with me doing competitive and semi-pro gaming in the past, I feel like as a sport that requires a lot of just muscle memory, once I develop the ability to really know how my swing should feel and know how to use the different clubs in different situations, I feel like something I will be able to get pretty good at, so I'm excited to keep doing it.
But next weekend we're actually going to do a full 18.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, we're going to do a full 18. That's going to be a fun time for you because you're going to see like the I'm trying to think of the derivative between like doing just 9 and then 9 and then doing them all at once. Yeah. And after that, we're probably going to have to like jump around to a couple other courses that I want to show you.
Yeah, for sure. So that was kind of our week in review. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on in this past week? I do have one little bit of breaking news.
Okay, go ahead and hit it.
We get approved for iTunes, so we're officially ready. In August we will be on iTunes, so if you guys have enjoyed all these pre-released episodes that we've been putting out, we will appreciate everything you guys have done, and we will be putting this shit out on iTunes, and we can't wait for everybody to start having a little bit easier access to it, and we thank you guys that have been listening to it in advance, and can't wait for all you new listeners to check it out. Alright, so into some of our fantasy football and NFL stories. My first story that I want to start things off of: Tom Brady is going to have a higher catch rating in the new Madden than Nick Foles. I believe this was done by some salty, petty-ass, bitch-ass, EA programmer-ass motherfucker that just can't deal with the fact that Big Dick Nick has better hands than fucking Tom Brady.
You know, it might be like, do you remember back in the day, I can't remember exactly which game it was, but it was an NBA game, and they made it that the Lakers could not make 3-pointers in the last 2 minutes of a game. He put it in the code that if you were in the playoffs as the Lakers in the last 2 minutes of a game, your team could not score 3-pointers. Every shot would miss. It was in the coding, and he got away with it for years because he fucking hated the Lakers. So he put that
fucking hilarious.
He put that into the game.
So anybody that played as the Lakers was just like, fuck this game, man.
Yes, yeah. In the last 2 minutes of any playoff game or finals or anything, if you like were at a tight game, you weren't going to make any points for the last 2 minutes.
You had to like go for and ones and just steal it and score twos. But yeah, I thought that was pretty fucking hilarious. I'm calling it right now, though. I think Nick Foles will catch more touchdown passes than Tom Brady this year. I'm making that projection.
I wonder how many passes Tom Brady has caught in his career.
I believe they said he has actually caught a decent amount, but couldn't catch it when it counted last year. That's all I'm saying.
No, he definitely dropped that one wide open right off the fingy tippies.
What's one of your NFL stories for us?
One of my NFL stories, it's actually about LeSean McCoy.
Okay.
So in the news, LeSean McCoy has been kind of up in the air right now.
If you've been following NFL, you've seen some of this.
Yes. His ex-girlfriend, whose name is hard for me to pronounce, so be ready for this, Delicia Corden. She is LeSean McCoy's ex-girlfriend, and a burglary. I can't say it. A burglary.
This is a really good podcast.
I really can't say it. A burglary.
Burglary?
Yes, a burglary. Is that right? Burglary?
That's how you say it.
Okay, a burglary had happened, and
I'm not cutting this.
I don't. She called the police and said that he set me up, said that LeSean McCoy had something to do with the people breaking into her home.
Okay.
I guess meaning how they knew where it was, what was there, all that stuff. Well, after some things went through and an investigation started, she has now backed out by saying, I'm not sure if he was actually involved.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm saying.
McCoy was pretty confident. He immediately put out a statement when she originally was like, he abuses his girlfriend and son, and he totally had something to do with this, and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I absolutely had nothing to do with this. I'm doing football things.
Yeah, I'm doing football stuff. I'm a football guy.
Big football guy.
Big football guy. Doing football things in the snow particularly well. But do you think that he could have had something to do with this?
I mean, when you're making that kind of money, I imagine you could make somebody kill somebody.
But would you kill your petty ex?
We should ask Aaron Hernandez. Oh, wait.
There was a rope involved in that.
Yeah, hanging with Hernandez.
Hanging with Hernandez. We could make that a segment where we're just quiet for a few minutes.
I don't know about that, but it does make a pretty good fan. We're going to drop back to fantasy football. You want a great fantasy football name for your league?
Ooh.
Hanging with Hernandez.
That's a good one. I actually might take that from you.
I really like the Des Nuts also.
The Des Nuts, yeah, that's pretty standard. I've seen that one a few times.
Yeah.
Not nearly as creative as
I've
Hanging
never
with
seen
Hernandez.
it, but
I like that. I like the Hanging with Hernandez. But yeah, so he no longer, I guess, is involved, and they're kind of just dropping all the charges. I saw it originally on NFL Network.
Well, they're dropping the charges, aren't they? Trying to find out who actually fucking robbed the place?
Yeah. I mean,
they're just not pursuing him.
Yes.
He's no longer a person of interest.
Yeah, they're no longer looking into
Understand.
Sean McCoy.
Well, my next story for the NFL is we are in for a rough NFL year in general, but I think this is going to be a rough fantasy year filled with lots of frustration. There have been a large number of big rule changes this year, and there's also been a large turnover on veteran referees. And with these big rule changes, there's going to be a lot of adapting that both new and experienced refs will have to deal with. So I feel like you're going to see almost every fucking play reviewed, and you are going to see some dumbass turnovers or dumbass call reversals and stuff like that. And I feel like there's just going to be a lot of heavy drinking involved, and I might even fucking punch you in the face one day at the bar because I hate obvious calls that get turned over for dumbass reasons. But with all these rules making it basically impossible for a defender to do anything and almost impossible for a running back to bust through a line without having a penalty, there's just going to be flags. I
hate whenever
they need to make fantasy football, they need to add a thing on there for like an over-under of how many penalty yards will be in each game.
Ooh, that'd be a good idea. Like, if that could be like a slot, like how many penalty yards do you believe will be called in said game? Like, you could have a team and be like, how many penalty yards is your team going to get?
With sports betting taking off right now, I could see that becoming a big thing. Over and under on penalty yards every game.
Huh. It's not a bad take. Maybe we should open up that circuit.
Yeah, we're just going to do penalty minutes for hockey games, fouls in a basketball game, and penalty yards in football games.
Can we talk about how much I hate whenever I have to explain a rule to you specifically and you get mad at me explaining to you the rule? Like, whenever, like,
when it's an obviously dumbass
yes, when
rule.
we see something happen, you're like, why is that not that? And then I have to, like, break down why the rules don't work that way. And you're like, well, that's fucking dumb. I was like, okay, well, don't shoot the messenger. I just know how it works.
I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to, when I'm in court or arrested and I'm on fucking Dateline, I'm going to say, change the fucking rule.
Yep, and then I'll be somewhere hanging with Hernandez, possibly.
Yeah, possibly. I feel like he's probably going to be in a lot worse place than you, but you deserve to go to a pretty bad place too. What's one of your next stories?
My next one is about the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Now, we all know that they drafted Josh Rosen with the 10th overall pick. They moved up to get him.
He's excited about it.
Yeah, he's excited about it. However, do you know that the Cardinals also signed Sam Bradford for $20 million?
I did do this because I'm a big football guy.
You did do this?
Yeah, I made that deal.
Oh, you did that.
Yep.
You work for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, part-time.
I was unaware of this.
Yeah, when I have the time.
You need to get us some inside access.
Yeah. It got too hot, so I just came back home.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Anywho, they gave him $20 million to come over and kind of lead the Cardinals. Now, when you move up in the draft to pick a quarterback at number 10, so a top 10 pick as a quarterback, but you also just picked one up for $20 million, what is your plan there? Are you going to put in the $20 million quarterback and let him play, or are you going to get your new rookie and try and get him on the field as fast as you can?
I want to play the guy that I feel has the most experience.
Obviously.
And allow that. I mean, the Browns are doing the same thing. They're obviously going to try to give... who's the Browns starting quarterback this year? Taylor.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor.
They're going to give Tyrod Taylor the reins and let Mayfield just take his time. I mean, I think if things get bad, I feel like the NFL is in a scramble mode with their quarterbacks in a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems... I mean, fuck, New York set Eli Manning last year when he struggled. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are willing to take those chances because they're worried about it. But I feel like I would take the same route. Obviously, give Sam Bradford the opportunity to play. Has he really proved that he's some super all-star? I see it this way. I'm going to give Sam Bradford that first shot, but I'm not going to hesitate if in practices and stuff like that, or if he gets hurt. I mean, he has an extensive injury history. Mm-hmm. If he gets hurt, I'm not going to feel bad about giving... If he does get hurt for a little bit and then Rosen does well, I don't know if I'm putting him back into the rotation.
Well, I'll put it this way. Patrick Peterson said, well, right now, I'd probably take Sam due to his experience, due to some of the records that he has in this league, because when Sam is healthy and on the field and has talent around him, he's a top 10 quarterback. Well, if he's healthy and has talent around him on the field, he should do just as good as about any quarterback if you're healthy and have talent on the field.
Yeah, those are usually two things that if you have, you should be able to do decent.
Yeah, you should be able to do okay.
If you're in the NFL.
Yeah, and just because I disagree with him, I believe Sam Bradford should not play. I believe Josh Rosen should be getting in there pretty quick. I would say by week 3, he should be in there.
So you think Sam Bradford's just going to open things up, basically give him preseason and then treat the first couple games as almost a preseason and slowly work Rosen into it?
Yes. I believe you'll see Rosen more in preseason. I think you'll have Sam be the starter in preseason.
If Rosen just goes ham in preseason, do you see him saying, fuck it, we're starting him?
Well, yeah, I mean, if he comes out like guns a-slinging, blowing people's doors off, yeah, I'll see him up front first, absolutely. But I still think they're going to put Bradford in for the first few games. And once they see that Bradford isn't doing any better, they're going to throw Josh Rosen in.
Or maybe Sam Bradford will surprise us.
Maybe he will. But on that, I went ahead and looked up some of Sam Bradford's career stats. And what do you think the highest amount of touchdowns in a season, any season, that Sam Bradford threw?
20.
21, actually.
Oh, wow.
But that's not a lot. 21's not a lot. I mean, it's some, but there's definitely, you can do way better.
Yeah.
But the season he had 21, his passer rating was only 82.6. And that was in 2012 when he played for the Rams.
Which was a shit team.
Yes. But his most recent, like, not really most recent, it was 2016 when he was on Minnesota when he took over, and he actually had a pretty good season. And he threw for 3,877 yards, but he only had 20 touchdowns.
Now, was Teddy on the team also at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
So he had 20 touchdowns. He only scored one less touchdown with a much better team than he did with the shitty Rams. So I don't think that shows that he is better with a talented core group around him. I just think it means he's a mediocre quarterback.
Now, what did he do with his brief time with the Eagles?
The Eagles, he threw 19 touchdowns, but he threw 14 interceptions.
And that's bad.
Yeah.
That's a terrible touchdown to interception ratio that doesn't really help his case much. But going back to when he was with Minnesota, what was his ratio in Minnesota?
In 2016, it was 20 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, which is really good with a 99.3 passer rating.
Now, what about the year where he only played like 4 or 5 games?
He threw 3 touchdowns for 382 yards and 0 interceptions.
And what was his pass rating?
124.4.
So if he can replicate that
every week,
he might have a chance of keeping that job.
Yes, he would have.
Might even get him a big extension.
That's exactly why he went away, because Case Keenum came in and fucking blew the doors off them.
He did.
For Minnesota. That's why he is now on
the Cardinals.
Cardinals, yes.
I mean, you're seeing a lot of these teams, especially with what you got going on in like Baltimore. You got it going on in the Jets. You got it going on in the Browns. Now you got it going on with the Cardinals, where you have these veteran, yet are they elite veteran quarterbacks? Debatable.
Mm-hmm.
And then a young stud under them that you haven't seen play in the NFL.
Right.
There's plenty of studs that have went to the NFL that didn't pan out.
And we talked about this before. The game may be changing to a 2-quarterback process.
And it very well may be. And it might be one of those things where you see some of these elite guys, and it may be one of those things where you get an elite guy there. I could see in years and years to come a team paying a guy like Tom Brady to where you have a couple quarterbacks, maybe your 5, 6, 7, 8 year long quarterback with a young rookie stud coming up, and then paying somebody, worst case scenario, if they're still willing to play the game, but almost just have them around as a mentor or coach.
Oh, bring Brett Favre back in this bitch.
That's what I mean. There's lots of people that could potentially. I mean, look at Hasselbeck when he stepped up a couple of years ago for the Colts.
Yeah, he
5-0.
Yep, he was slinging balls,
and he straight up said, "I don't want to be the starting quarterback." But when his number got called, he went out there and got the fucking job done.
Yeah.
Then came back and broke his whole body again.
Yeah, that's story of the life.
But hey, we got high hopes this year.
Yeah, we got high hopes. He's throwing footballs.
I like to troll you. Regular footballs?
I think they're still high school balls, but still, he's throwing balls.
Oh. All right, well, let me talk to you about this. My favorite position on the field.
The cheerleader?
No. The tight end.
Oh.
Which I bet some of those cheerleaders have. But the tight end is one of my favorite positions because I feel like if I would have been athletically gifted enough to play a position, I feel like tight end would have suited me well. And so this is a look. I got this off ESPN.com. This is a look. They got 5 of them. I just went to the top 3. I didn't want to make this part too long, but some of the good tight ends to look at. It's something that I feel like I do a good job picking these out, especially in fantasy. My first couple years when I was playing, I definitely held on to guys like Eifert and Ertz.
Yeah.
And that made me a big fan because it's a position, especially when you get players like Greg Olsen or Travis Kelce, that people will look over really and not worry about, or people like Gronk. Obviously, he's like the one tight end people will take before a lot of other positions even. But right now, some of these top 3 to look at would be the New York Giants' Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of his since he came in. He's got a lot of potential. He's an offensive weapon. He was 4th in the NFL with 299 yards after the catch as a rookie, and he led the rookies with 722 receiving yards, which was the 3rd highest for a first-year tight end, behind only Keith Jackson in 1988 and Jeremy Shockey in 2002. He's 23 years old. He's just now entering his 2nd season. He's got a very bright future ahead of him if he can stay healthy. Not a big tight end.
Not to mention that they put Saquon Barkley back there and Odell's coming back.
Exactly. And that's actually part of the obstacles for him. Not necessarily... I wouldn't call it an obstacle. It's something definitely going to affect you.
He's going to have less targets.
Yes, it's definitely going to affect you in fantasy. Will it negatively affect him? Maybe on the stat line, but it also kind of helps him out because same thing. He doesn't have that huge name for him. So people, Saquon Barkley definitely has a bigger name coming into this than Evan Ingram had coming into his rookie season.
He's going to have more open space.
He is. People are going to be a lot more worried about Odell and Barkley than they will Ingram, even though he did perform very well in his first year. So he's playing on a very talented offense, could limit his production with ODB and Barkley being there, but I definitely think if he just stays consistent and works on his catching and is there when the time's called on him, he could be one of those weapons that when things shut down for Eli, he's that reliable last chance target that will always get the job done when he needs to.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Next on the list was Hunter Henry. I hate
Tennessee Titans.
LA Chargers. Big player for the Chargers last year, tight end. He's going to be replacing Antonio Gates. He has replaced Antonio Gates. They selected him from Arkansas.
That's right.
Yeah,
why did I think
second round in 2016. He is backing up the Hall of Famer Antonio Gates. He's 23 years old. He's lived up to it so far. He's tied with the Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce for the 4th most receiving touchdowns among tight ends with 12 over the past 2 seasons. He finished with 45 catches and 579 yards and 4 scores in 2017. The Chargers were 7-1 in games where he was targeted at least 5 times in the season, and they were 0-6 in games where he wasn't. So obviously he definitely has the ability to impact games. One of the things that's appealing is that he's complete. He's a a little bigger than Ingram is. He can definitely help with that rushing game since they got Melvin Gordon in the backfield. And he's definitely that kind of hands that you can rely on. Big obstacle is he's not playing this year. Tore his ACL at the first OTA that they went to this year.
Oh, my God.
So he will be out for this season. So as appealing as he sounds, you won't be able to pick him up in the fantasy draft this year because he will be out for 2018. So make sure you pay attention to that. Don't look at last year's projections, and because they were good. Don't look at last year's stats and think about projections this year. If you're doing a lot of online leagues, they'll usually give you that information, but if you happen to be doing a live draft, keep that in the back of your mind that he will not be available this year. And the last one is the tight end from my team, the Atlanta Falcons, Austin Hooper. He definitely has made strides in the last couple of years that he's been in the league. Dan Quinn has said he's pumped about his potential as he heads into his third NFL season. The Falcons certainly could use him. They have an amazing team right now, and having that talented tight end could only help him that much more. He caught 10 passes on 14 targets with 4 touchdowns and 6 first downs. I'd like to see a lot more targets to him, but especially with the new wide receiver that the Falcons got on top of Julio Jones, on top of Devonta Freeman, they're kind of in the same position as New York. They have a lot of options that they can go to, so he's kind of like a last, not on the top of Matt Ryan's radar. However, this year, in this offseason, let me find where I was taking the stat from. He is a red zone threat, and this past year he stayed readily available in the offseason, available to work out with Matt Ryan whenever he wanted to, as a testament to his dedication to the team. So I feel like that extra work he may have gotten in with Matt Ryan will definitely help him, and that makes me excited because I really want to see a good tight end come to Atlanta because, like I said, in my first few years of fantasy, you saw these guys like Tyler Eifert and Zach Ertz just blowing the league up, not to mention Gronk.
Right.
I'd love to see somebody like that really impact the Falcons and allow Devonta Freeman the space, take the pressure off Matt Ryan, and give people like Julio and Ridley the room that they need to perform.
And Travis Kelce, that was the other one, the other tight end who you picked up when you had the league where you had like 4 tight ends on your team.
Well, yeah, that one year. So this is how I value my tight ends. I picked them all up, and I was able to trade them off for some pretty good people later in the season. At one point in my fantasy league, I had Travis Kelce, I had Zach Ertz, I had Tyler Eifert, and I had Greg Olsen. Yeah. I had all the fucking tight ends.
Dumb.
I had every good tight end, and I was just like, yo, if you want a tight end, give me something good. So his obstacles would be he's known as a pass-catching tight end. He took some criticism for some costly drops, but, I mean, look at the drops that Julio had last year. I mean, you're going to have people drop fucking
Julio
passes.
was a fucking mess.
He was a shit show. I'm really hoping that he can clean that up this year. They are a high-power offense. I'm hoping they're bringing it back to the 2016 season when they took the tied for 8th place in the most scoring offense of all time in NFL history. I'm really hoping to see them do some stuff like that again. Consistency is going to be key as always, and it's something that Coach Wade Harmon has harped on, and that little tidbit was credited to Vaughn McCullough on ESPN.com. But that's pretty much all I have on the NFL. Did you have something else that you wanted to cover NFL-wise or fantasy football-wise?
No, not on NFL or fantasy football. I've run through all of the things I looked up.
Well, then we are going to jump right over to our next sports segment, which we're going to talk a little bit of soccer. France wins the World Cup as Mbappe, I think that's how you say his name, Mbappe?
Mbappe?
Yeah, the Kylian Mbappe. I guess that's how you say his name, I don't know.
Kylian Mbappe?
I think so.
Are you sure his name's not Killing My Baby?
Might be Killing My Baby. This dude that kills babies over in France scored a goal, and he's the first teenager to score since Pele in 1958, so that I thought that was pretty impressive.
Wait, are we talking about scoring as in scoring a goal, or like he's fucking?
Scoring a goal. And now I assume he's going to score as in fucking a lot tonight because he just won France their second World Cup.
Do you think
title.
If he gets her pregnant, he's going to kill my baby?
Yeah, because he kills his babies.
Right.
Yeah, that's all he does.
Oh. So he scores goals and kills babies.
He's pro-choice.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the soccer talk.
Yeah, and so that's talking soccer for us, big soccer guys. Next, I'm going to go right into the NHL, but I was going to see if you wanted to open up our NHL segment.
Yeah, I'll go ahead right into it, and I want to talk about the Nashville Predators. So, normally whenever the offseason comes, you have every team who are looking to make big splashes into the new season. You're looking for good transitions between the areas you had problems with and what you want to do moving forward. However, the Nashville Predators believe that they do not need any changes, and the players went to the GM and specifically said, we do not want to change our team. We do not want to gain people, and we do not want to lose people.
So they feel like they have the squad they need to win a cup. They just failed.
Yeah, they just made mistakes this past season, but they
don't feel like it was a shortcoming of they lacked the talent or they were missing a piece. They just feel like they either burnt out or just couldn't get it done, but they don't feel like the team chemistry was the issue.
Yeah, they said that they had complete trust in the team and they thought our chemistry and culture was really good, and they're just trying to frame it correctly, basically. They're just trying to get the solid staples down of what they had, and they're completely confident of what they already had.
It's a little cocky, don't you think?
It is.
Oh, we didn't win last year, but we'll totally do it this year. We promise, don't trade us.
They said, one of the players said, I think if we could start tomorrow and be given another opportunity, we and our team would like to play the Winnipeg Jets again in another 7-game series. Just thinking of how close the last one was.
Oh, well, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to play a whole nother season.
Yeah, you got to do another
you got
82 games
to play before that's going to happen, pal.
However, as much as they beg and plead, some changes have to be made. Poley, I believe their GM, said Scott Hartnell will not be offered a contract for next season. Hartnell, 36, had 24 points. He only had 13 goals and 11 assists in 62 games and played in 4 games during the Stanley Cup playoffs. And Hartnell said Saturday that he is considering retirement since he is no longer getting a contract.
So it kind of feels like, you know what, if I'd be happy to play here, but I'm not really going to go through the whole free agency debacle. I'm just going to go ahead and ride off into the sunset.
I'm just going to throw the cleats.
He can go up, he can go party with the Tennessee Titans offensive linemen in the stands because they look like good people.
Yeah, they look like a good time.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I have on here, most of mine is just some local Blues news. The Blues are bringing Pat Maroon home. He signed a 1-year deal for $1.75 million here with the St. Louis Blues. He grew up in the St. Louis suburb and played for the St. Louis Bandits of the North American Hockey League. Armstrong said that he was excited to have Pat on the team, and according to the team's website, things have picked up over the last few days. Last night about 10:30 p.m., got the call from him and a representative saying that he wanted to be part of the St. Louis Blues. I'm really happy about this move. He gives a lot of front net presence. He's a hometown boy. You can definitely hear the North County accent when he talks. Like, I don't feel like Missouri people have much of an accent, but you can definitely hear it when he talks.
Oh, Missouri people have an accent. When you talk to people from other areas, they definitely say that we do.
Yeah, and it's just weird because when I watch TV and stuff, I'm like, I feel like we talk mostly like the general populace of Maine television.
I think we hit a different type of pronunciation. I was about to say punctuation. We have a different pronunciation than I think a lot of people in the Midwest.
We say our R's real hard.
Yes.
That's maybe because a lot of people in Missouri are racist.
That's literally what I was about to say.
But yeah, the Blues have been really busy this offseason. They picked up Perron back. A lot of people have been talking like, oh, it's, why are we bringing back for a third time and blah, blah, blah. I like Perron. I feel like with the additions that we've made, it's going to put him in a good spot where he'll be able to help that third line. I believe that's where he's probably going to be playing. I've always liked him. He brought an amazing catch phrase to the St. Louis Blues organization, the holy jumping.
Yep.
And I just like him. I like him as a player. I don't give a fuck when anybody says don't like it. I'll fucking fight you. Tyler Bozak's coming. We got the goalie, Cheto Chosinko Johnson, and he's not that good. He's used to playing football, but we also picked up, obviously, Ryan O'Reilly. We got a lot of awesome acquisitions this offseason. I'm really excited to see it. He, last season, was a big part of an up-and-coming Edmonton team. He was coming off of a 27-goal season, and the Oilers' first playoff appearance in a decade, but they stumbled pretty bad, and he was dealt to New Jersey at the trade deadline, helped them for a playoff push, but now he's back here in STL, and I'm glad to have him.
Sorry, I was just really enjoying my vape juice that I got from the vape store in Lake St. Louis.
Oh, really? How are those guys over there?
Those guys there are some of the most top-notch boys I've ever seen.
Well, if you vape and you're looking for some of the best tasting juices and some of the most amazing equipment that you can suck some fucking juice into your lungs, help you, whether you're quitting smoking or you just enjoy the process of enjoying some goofy clouds.
Those psychedelic clouds, bro.
You hit up the Vapor Store in Lake St. Louis, soon to be opening a new location off Bryan Road.
No, off of Mexico Road.
In O'Fallon. They're an awesome new sponsor of ours, so be sure and go in there and tell them the guys from Inside the Pocket. They'll hook you guys up with the best equipment so you can be fucking burning some cotton and enjoying some tasty flavors on your lips.
That's right. But now that we got that out of the way, let me go ahead and hit up my next little NHL tidbit. Marc-Andre Fleury. Don't you love that guy?
I do love that guy. I believe I'm getting a jersey.
You are? You're going to get a jersey?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, are you going to get it home or away?
Probably away. I like the white.
Yeah, if you like the white. It is a clean. Yeah, I feel that. Well, anywho, the 33-year-old goaltender agreed to a 3-year deal with the Vegas Knights for $21 million.
Good.
So
congrats on getting paid.
Yeah, congrats on the millions that I will never get to see in my lifetime. But yeah, they came and asked him, how do you feel being the face of the franchise? And Marc-Andre Fleury, being the funny guy that he is, all he replies was, I don't know, I just wish I had a better face. And
I guess if I'm going to be the face, I wish I had one.
That was it. That's all he said. Like, the whole thing for the interview. Like, they were, like, going to try, like, do, like, a real interview. And they're like, how do you feel about being the face of the franchise? Wish I had a better face. And they just literally were like...
Some fans should play off that and wear, like the bodysuits or whatever, and then wear a Fleury and just Fleury jersey and just put, like, no face Marc Fleury or no face Andre Fleury or something.
Or they should all just make Marc-Andre Fleury masks and everybody in the crowd wear them.
A jersey, wear that.
Or not even just a jersey, I mean everyone. Like, they should do a Fleury night, the face of the franchise night, and everybody, when you walk in, gets a Fleury mask.
Yo, Golden Knights, you need to get us on your PR team.
Yeah,
right now.
We would be on top of that shit. And it's Vegas.
Better yet, the St. Louis Blues need to listen to this and have a meeting with us. I mean, we already put floors in your guys' complex.
Yeah, so, more than once.
Yeah, so let's just get in there and let's come up with some shit. Listen to the podcast, play it. We'll do a live podcast from the Blues game,
At Enterprise? That's what it's called now?
Yeah,
is it just called the Enterprise? Or is it the Enterprise Center Stadium? Because it was the...
Is it the Enterprise Rent-A-Center Center?
Oh, fuck.
I think it's just called the Enterprise Center.
Okay.
I know a lot of people were making the jokes because if you ever watch one of their commercials, it's like Enterprise will pick you up, St. Louis Blues will let you down.
That hurts.
Hopefully not this year. I'm pretty confident going into this year.
Anywho, Gavin, do you have anything else on the NHL subject?
Yeah, I'm going to let you know one of the reasons that I'm excited for this year. Ryan O'Reilly, big acquisition. Gave up a lot, but gained a lot in picking him up. And he is excited also. He is thrilled to be here in St. Louis. He said towards the end of his tenure there in Buffalo that he had kind of lost the love for hockey. He wasn't feeling the spark, and now that he's been here in St. Louis, he feel like that spark has been relit after 3 consecutive losing seasons with the Sabres. He kind of felt like he was losing the love for the game and felt like that the Buffalo organization had kind of just been okay with losing, and he didn't really like that mentality, and he was just kind of losing the love for the game. He believed it affected their games, and he stood by those comments. He did thank their organization and express happiness to move and start fresh with St. Louis. He said he's really excited, and I can tell you one thing, Ryan, St. Louis Blues fans aren't okay with fucking losing, so let's get some goddamn work done this year. Put those biscuits in the basket, and I was really happy for Vegas in their first year and their early success, but as a Blues fan before anything else, I'm tired of fucking waiting. And if you think Ovi went on a goddamn bender when he got the cup, St. Louis is going to rip the goddamn arch down when the cup comes here. We are going to rip the arch down, and we are going to rebuild a giant Stanley Cup. We're going to tear the arch down, and we're going to build 2 giant Stanley Cups and build a new arch connecting the 2 cups. That's going to be the new St. Louis arch.
Over, under, how many times do you think we're going to do a knockoff O'Reilly Auto Parts theme for O'Reilly in the stadium, where it's like, O'Reilly's hockey is a sport?
That's pretty good. St. Louis Blues is what we're fucking talking about. We need to sit down and work some shit out here. That would be pretty funny though. Like when they announced his name or something.
They did it like that
instead of fucking Tarasenko! And then when they go to announce O'Reilly, just play that.
Yeah, I think that's what they should do.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
I'd be for it.
I would too.
But that is pretty much wrapping up my NHL talk. I believe that's all you kind of had also. Yeah. And so now that we're done with the sports talk, we're going to move right along into our WOW stories of the week.
Wow.
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 Okay, to open up this week's WOW Story of the Week segment, I just want to tell you how many times I've said WOW at Barrel's Taphouse, enjoying some delicious food and some amazingly cheap beer. And the selection, you walk in there, there's 109 taps on the wall.
Wow.
You can't help but say wow.
Wow.
You walk in and you're just like, wow. Not only do they have amazing food, amazing people, 109 beers on tap, they got an awesome jukebox. You can go on there. They got the little Touch Tunes app that we like to just purchase excruciating amounts of play so little dude bros can't play their shitty music.
Don't fuck with me on that jukebox, though. If you're there and I'm there, I will ruin you on that
Don't spend money because we'll buy out all your plays. But if we're not there, or if we are there, come up and say, hey guys, I want to play some music. Just let us know. We'll buy you some free songs. But they're an awesome establishment. Awesome food, great location at the corner of Highway and Highway K in O'Fallon, Missouri. Be sure and go there and buy an Inside the Pocket t-shirt and help out the podcast and help out the bar. Don't steal one like a douchebag did a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a real great thing he did. But yeah, please go buy our shirts. That would be awesome.
So my WOW story of the week this week is that the police in Wisconsin found 82 grams of drugs inside a woman's vagina.
That is a deep vagina.
Yeah, large. I found this on the HuffingtonPost.com, and apparently a Wisconsin woman is now facing felony drug charges after the police said they found 82 grams of drugs in her vagina. Desiree Weber, 20 years old, arrested July 25th in Shawnau.
Okay.
That's a weird place, but the police pulled over her 1997 Monte Carlo that she was driving.
Which means drugs.
Yeah, that's a drug vehicle. Her companion was 39-year-old Jamal McCullum. He was a convicted drug dealer, and the officers pulled over the car after getting a tip that he was selling heroin, cocaine, marijuana, meth, and other drugs, which that kind of covers all the drugs. Police said that McCullum's MO was that he would travel with a woman who would slip the drugs into her vagina if the police stopped them. Now, that's not just like she was transporting them a far distance. That's a pretty cool, she's going to have a pretty gaping vagina to just toss it up in there real quick.
Yeah, you think they do any type of foreplay beforehand, or you think she just goes in dry with plastic bags?
Maybe they keep the plastic bags lubricated so she could just real quick get it up in there.
I wonder if it feels good. Do you think a plastic bag rolled up would... But do you think it tickles on the inside?
I imagine it feels like they have a ovarian cyst.
Oh.
And I can't imagine what that feels like, but the sound of it sounds terrible. The police dog showed particular interest in the driver's seat where she had been sitting, obviously smelling the drugs in her vagina. And after they performed a strip search, they found the drugs. Well, I think they didn't find them in her. They realized that something was up, so they took her to get a CT scan where they found a plastic bag the size of a human fist. So that kind of explains how difficult, depending on her extracurricular activities, how hard or easy that might be to get up there. It's common for people, in airports and stuff like that. This was by the police. I don't personally know this, but the police said that it's typical of them to use condoms or plastic baggies or saran wrap or something for people to try to stick it up there. They said that the breakdown of it was 36.67 grams of coke, 14.72 grams of meth, 27.8 grams of synthetic weed, 6 ecstasy pills, and 1.26 grams of marijuana.
That's a pretty pricey pussy right there.
Yeah, that is a very expensive box.
Yeah.
Oh, drugs.
It's a very valuable vagina.
Yeah, they said that if that bag would have ruptured while inside her, she probably would have died.
Yeah, probably.
Overdosed pussy. They said the cocaine obviously would have made her heart rate skyrocket, and with all the other drugs mixed in there too, she probably would have just had heart failure. She was charged with 6 felony drug counts, including 2 counts of THC possession, possession with the intent to deliver cocaine, and possession with the intent to deliver meth. If they pulled it out, is that kind of like giving birth? She should have gotten charged with delivering it.
Oh, like delivery of drugs?
Yeah, but or delivery of a child.
How would she get charged for that, though?
Because when you give birth, you deliver a child. For them to get the drugs out, she would have had to deliver them the drugs. So not only was it intended delivery, she gave birth to a bag of drugs. Thus, she delivered drugs. I would be a great prosecuting attorney. They said that the other guy was charged with 4 felony counts with the possession with the intent to deliver and possession with intent to deliver all the other bullshit that she had shoved up her vagina. So that's kind of fucking crazy. What do you got for your story?
My story involves a train and a tractor trailer.
Did they go through a woman's vagina?
No, but this lady might have been able to fit them in there. So a man was driving and he saw a truck try and outrun a train, a tractor trailer truck. So an 18-wheeler was going across the tracks when the little boardy thingies were coming down, like the ding, 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 ding,
guardrails.
Yeah. So he went through those.
And they were like, not today.
Yeah, no, not happening. So his truck got stuck on the railroad, and then this fucking train plows right into the goddamn truck and just drags it along for quite a ways until it actually comes to a stop. You could tell the train was trying to stop, but everybody knows that trains take like miles to stop.
Yeah.
So
They
by the
kinda
time
got a lot of weight behind them.
yeah, they just got a lot of momentum. Just a little bit of a lot of momentum. So
A lot of it.
yeah, a lot of it. So I have the link and I'm going to post it on our page. However, I realized that was a pretty quick story of the week, so I actually did a second one as well.
Oh, well, that was considerate.
Yeah, no, I was trying to think of the listeners. I didn't want my part to be shorter. So, a Texas police department is asking the public help to find a guy who, again, the word I'm having trouble saying, a burglary.
You did it.
Right?
You're good.
All right.
Congratulations.
Yeah, to identify a burglar who broke into a store using a pair of underwear as a mask, like a pair of boxer briefs. He like put his head through the part where your waist would go, and then brought his face through one of the leg holes and left it underneath his nose, so you can't see.
So they had just another leg hole flopping in the wind.
Yes,
to
he had
one
another
shoulder.
one flapping. And I also have the link to that, and I'm also going to post it to our page here shortly. So if anybody has any information of this man in Texas who's wearing undies as a mask,
You give us the information.
We'll call
solve
the-
the case.
yup.
And we'll get the reward. And you'll get some of it. I mean, you could get all of it, but then you would. If you share it with us, we'll talk about you, and then because we're a very successful
Reward us,
podcast.
reward you.
Help us help you by taking all the money that you could get, and then we'll get some, and then you'll get some sense of achievement by
I'll give you a
working
shirt.
with us. You'll get a shirt and some of the money, and we'll use some of the money and
Make more shirts.
make more shirts,
And
and we'll give you one of those shirts.
Yeah.
So you'll get 2 shirts.
You'll get 2 shirts. So would you rather have the money or would you rather have 2 free shirts?
By a non-existent podcast, that's going to be the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed those Wild Stories of the week, but I'm ready to move on to let you guys know what I would do if I were the president of this United States.
If I was president, I'd get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. If I was president, if I was president.
AIDS.
Everybody's got them?
Everybody's got AIDS. Team America. Watch it. Funny show.
You know, there
Movie.
used to be a chocolate called AIDS, and then after AIDS became a thing, they had to it was like an emergency chocolate for people with diabetes. They just called it chocolate AIDS.
Chocolate AIDS.
And then once AIDS became a thing, they went out of business because everybody thought that it was giving them AIDS.
Do you think that would be like a really racist thing to say chocolate AIDS since AIDS arrived from Africa?
I don't think so. I think it was like they were referring to it as like eating your low blood sugar.
Huh. Well, anywho, my thing's about AIDS. If I was president, I would give every AIDS researcher, actually not every, I'd say the top 10 AIDS researchers, I would give them AIDS and see how fast we come up with a cure. I believe as soon as you give them the AIDS and you tell them, hey, you motherfuckers are gonna die, research is gonna be booming and shit's gonna be moving a lot quicker.
And they'll get that shit figured out. Now, do you think once they figure it out, some big pharma is just going to have them all killed anyway and just be like, yeah, we're not giving this?
They could do that for sure. I would definitely see why they would do that because they already do that with cancer.
Yeah, we talked about that in our last conspiracy theory.
We did. I forgot about that. But yeah, I would hope they wouldn't kill him because AIDS is like a disease that I don't think is like thinning the herd. Like, AIDS is one that really is just, like, plaguing people and making people suffer. Like, cancer is thinning the herd, and we have, like, so much cancer research and so much shit compared to AIDS that I think if we actually cured AIDS, it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Because, like you said, I'm no doctor, and I could be completely wrong on this, but, like, my girlfriend has a history in healthcare, and she talked about how it's, you get AIDS, but it's not really the AIDS that kills you. It wrecks your immune system to the point that something else kills you. And so it's not like you're curing all these other diseases. You're basically just keeping people's immune systems from getting fucked up. Making people a lot less scared when they have sex, and that'd be a pretty good thing.
And that's really what I'm getting at, is I don't want to get AIDS.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. If I were president, I would offer kind of like how, so there's, help for people to buy food and housing and stuff like that. I would adjust some numbers around, get people that are better with money than I am, and adjust the budgets and stuff to where we could offer some sort of aid to people who struggle with money for gym memberships or some sort of athletic training of one way, shape, or form. That way we would allow the people in our country who don't have the ability to do some of those things to become healthier and stronger. You got some people who could do that and build impressive physiques and become Instagram models, or perhaps they become educated themselves and become trainers themselves, or become athletes, and it would not just be for adult people, but it would also be for families to help enroll their children in some extracurricular activities, and you aid them a little bit. The kids become successful, they get college scholarships, they become pro athletes, and then they can pay back to the fund. It'd be something that once you do it for a while, in the future you'll have all these kids that might be successful athletes and can say that, one of the only reasons I was able to get this training as a child was the help that the government did. And then maybe once they're making millions of dollars as professional athletes, you can get them to donate back to the fund and kind of make it this growing thing and get more and more kids the athletic training or just physical fitness requirements that they need in a country that is being debilitated by diabetes and obesity and stuff like that.
Now let me go ahead and point on this. A reason that we are being being attacked by diabetes and people being fat and overweight is not just the fact that they can't necessarily afford going to a gym, but they just don't want to. So with your program, there's going to be a lot of people who say, fuck your program, I don't want to go work out.
Well, and that's where there's actually something some countries like Japan and China do, where they allow insurance companies to say, if you have access, they're like a company, they might have a gym.
I've heard about this before.
And then they could say, the company can say, okay, we offer you a gym with free membership, and if you are going to deny the use of that or voluntarily be unhealthy and overweight, we are not going to give you health insurance, because we are not going to pay insurance on somebody that won't take the extra time to. If we are going to take the money and invest in your health, you need to take some time and invest in your health.
Gotcha.
And so that would be something too, that along with these programs, where if it might be a program where it's like, okay, we have this money for families that can't afford this kind of stuff, but if they're obviously obese, then the medical healthcare industry or insurance industry can say, well, you've obviously been offered money to take care of yourself and take care of your children that would avoid these kind of diseases. We're not going to cover you for this. And, it kind of sounds like bullshit, and we're a free country, and I understand that that's what makes us great, but at the same time, you
can't be a shitty person.
Fucking take care of yourself.
Right.
I consider myself overweight, and I think I look terrible, and there are times where I feel terrible, but there's a lot of times when I do good in the gym, and I obviously will see other people around me that are in a lot worse shape than I am in.
Right.
And I still get up every morning, do a physically demanding job. I'm productive to society. I don't have extensive health issues, but
that's the other part I was going to get at when you said that these people were going to go ahead and jump up on this program and become Instagram models. Okay, so you're just paying people to become a nuisance to society that aren't going to have any beneficial factors?
I don't think they're all nuisances, because I understand that people are like, oh, all they do is take pictures. But if they can, certain Instagram models, I realize there's a lot of shitty people out there that are just douchebags and fucking whores, but a lot of them they are productive people to society. They create training programs to help other people. They they build up a fan base that then they can go to companies and advertise for those companies. So now you're an asset to companies' marketing teams. You're an asset to people who are looking for people to help them with their fitness journeys. You just become a utility for other things while making a decent income for yourself. And you never know. There could be people that are Instagram models and stuff like that make all this money, and you're like, oh, they're just, all they do is take pictures and they have millions of followers. They're no help to society. Maybe those people take a lot of the money they make and donate to charities and do stuff like that. You don't know what they do with their money or in their personal life. So a lot of these people that you see might live kind of a gaudy or tacky lifestyle, being Instagram models or YouTube stars or Twitch streamers and stuff like that. There are a lot of those people that help people. I mean, I see people like Shroud Ninja all the time will take their Twitch channel and go find some girl on Twitch streaming who's trying to save up for a new wheelchair and just donate 50 grand to her and be like, boom, buy your wheelchair. You know, there's people that make good money that do, it doesn't look like they're benefiting anybody with what they do, but what they do with the money they make from that does benefit people.
I'm not saying people wouldn't do that, but as with any type of cordial system, people are going to cheat it. Just like now, like I'm not saying everybody using EBTs and everything like that are ruining the system. Like,
No,
I'm not saying everybody's going out there, going to the store, and they're fucking the government. Sure, there's plenty of people like single parents. They obviously, like if you're in a situation where you're not making ends meet and you have 2 or 3 kids and something happened, maybe your husband died, or maybe you got a divorce and the husband left, or vice versa, the wife left, or whatever.
There's people who do need help and should get help.
Yes, I agree with that. But with this, if you're going to just legitimately be paying for people to go to the gym, those motherfuckers better still have like something to do to be a member of society other than just working on their own health. Like, I don't want it to be a point like they're getting a free gym membership, but they're also getting government housing. And they don't pay for anything and don't keep a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think they'd use both sides of the system, and it'd be
and it could even be a system that's just temporary at times. You sign up for it, and they give you, like, they look at individual situations and say, we're going to do this for you for a while.
Yeah, like a time trial. Like, you could have, like, a year free gym memberships if you don't make a progression or anything.
Yeah, where you apply for it, and then the government fucking does it, and they pay for your gym membership for that year. Or like you said, they look into specific cases where it's like, okay, we can help these people out that obviously need it, and then there's people that they can tell don't,
right?
And that'd be even something that the gyms can work with, or the facilities be like, this dude's program is being paid for by the so-and-so government plan, but he's pulling up in a fucking Benz.
Yeah.
And then they could look into it and be like, yeah, we're revoking that, you stupid motherfucker.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
all right. I'm okay with that.
So, yeah, that's what I would do. Try to just help the health and well-being of our country. And we pretty much are done with what we would do if we were president. But we are going to go ahead and jump into our next segment, which will be looking over some conspiracy theories. All right, Austin, in a world of mystery and unknowns, what's your conspiracy theory?
Everybody knows about the Loch Ness Monster.
It's about Tree Fitty.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah. Everybody knows about him. Everyone knows that there's a monster in Ness. Everyone knows. That's the name of the lake. That's where Loch Ness Monster comes from. Anywho, they actually have drawn up guidelines of what to do if Loch Ness Monster was actually found. So mine's not actually a conspiracy theory, but it's a guideline that they have built.
It's a real life plan if a conspiracy theory was found to be true.
Yes. So what they have drawn up is if the Loch Ness Monster were to be found, officials would take the DNA sample of the monster and then put it back in the lake. They would not disturb it at all. They would say it would be an extremely rare creature. It would probably be close to extinction. They would have no reason to keep it or put it in a zoo or make it or anything like that. They would completely let it stay wild because it's lived so long on its own already. If they're able to capture it or find anything about it, all they want to do is get a DNA sample so they can do some testing. Because the story's been around for over 1,500 years. and it traces all the way back to 565 AD. And the creature resembles the Pileosaur, which is an ancient sea monster that died out with the dinosaurs, and they like are curious if it might have some type of like relative like descent from it. And to have one living would be astronomical. And they believe that the reason they would put them back is because their tourism already gets 400,000 people a year to come just to that lake to see it.
If they proved he was real and he was in there, more people would
come. Many people would come, and he'd be back in there. So so many people would be coming in there trying to like get a glimpse of him or see him or do anything. And as early as this year, in 2018, an international team of scientists gathered environmental DNA from the lake, and it does an analysis, and the study will aim to confirm what species live there, including possible unknown animals that might be lurking. So I guess what it does is it takes like bacteria that's built up in the water, and they can categorize the bacteria and dead cells to different types of animals and like fish life and plant life and stuff like that. And if there's any unidentified ones, it might be a case like to be tracing to the Loch Ness Monster.
So we know there's some sort of unidentified thing down there.
Yes, because I didn't actually write it down, but it said they also did discover 4 previously unknown creatures in that lake. So doing
it's got
this
a history
test,
of unknown creatures.
Yes. So now they're like, they actually put this in place, like, yo, we found some stuff we'd never seen before, and this is also the lake that they claim that the Loch Ness Monster is in. Let's keep doing this test, and if it does confirm to be real, we need to capture that motherfucker, get some DNA, and release him back, and don't touch him again because he's such a fragile creature, probably.
What if they killed him doing that, though?
Like, do you think maybe he's like so deep under it because he's one of those? Yeah, he needs the water pressure and like bringing him up and killing him.
Yeah, but some of the lore is that he has surfaced.
Yeah, so I guess he can.
But maybe not for long.
Right.
But I mean, you don't need much for a DNA sample.
No, I mean, if they really got a dead cell bacteria that was from it, that would have DNA.
They wouldn't even need to take him.
Yeah.
They'd have to prove that was him, though.
Yeah, they'd have to find a way
to remake him, and they'll have some crazy like fish monkey monster coming.
Right. It'll be like Jurassic Park. We'll be making mutated. There
was that story not long ago that said in like the next 5 to 10 years we could have dinosaurs again.
Yeah, there's literally movies telling us that that's a horrible idea.
Yeah, I think it's a fucking terrible idea.
I don't want dinosaurs on this planet.
No, I like being the dominant species.
Yeah, you have something like that. I mean, we would probably still remain dominant. It'd be like the lions. Like if I went into a field with a lion's gonna fucking murder me.
Yeah, but overall, dinosaurs are like hundreds of times the size of them.
No, I understand that they're much, much larger, but they're also not nearly as intelligent.
I don't know. Some of them are pretty intelligent.
Look at like elephants and giraffes and like other big ass animals that are still around today.
But they're not carnivores.
Yeah, I guess hippos are.
Yeah, but
I mean, they're also not
omnivores. They can eat plants too.
Well, yeah, but they're not the size of like a dinosaur.
Yeah,
but not all the dinosaurs
teams
were carnivores.
Of velociraptors the size of you storming through the streets.
I'll punch a velociraptor in its fucking face.
No, the fuck you.
Yes, I will. I mean, I'll die eventually, but I'll get one good hit in.
That's like, imagine a fucking kangaroo that can run 50 miles an hour with razor sharp teeth.
I'd fuck a kangaroo up.
Yeah, but not if it were a velociraptor.
Yeah, then what was that? That was a horrible comparison. Think of a kangaroo. Yeah, I'd fuck a kangaroo up. Okay, well, it's not a kangaroo, it's a velociraptor. Okay, yeah, a velociraptor would probably fuck me up. But, I don't know. I just think we would still be the dominant species.
I mean, we're the most intelligent.
And we have the most, like, land base. Like, we're everywhere. And
it'd be one thing, like, if there was, like, a handful of dinosaurs. But if there was, like, I think, I don't know. I don't know what a real dinosaur would be like trying to take down. But I imagine just, like, a team of 100 T-Rexes and 1,000 raptors could take over a country.
No, you just throw grenades at them and shit.
don't know. They seem like they would fucking know how to fuck shit up. What if they were like super smart, like the ones from Jurassic Park?
Then would be in a different realm.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking is not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that. I think they'd be kind of like borderline retarded dinosaurs.
Right. And they're not going to be like nearly as smart as their ancestor ones, since they're going to be like made in tubes without
And the world's
any...
totally different.
Right. They might not even survive once they get out here.
Yeah.
I mean, there might
the
be
world could be so polluted at this point that like a dinosaur couldn't even survive.
Yeah.
But I'm no scientist. I'm just some retard with a podcast. But now that kind of covers up your conspiracy theory, I'm going to go over mine, which would be, it's kind of a popular one, but it's basically like news, the media, all this stuff shows tons of bullshit stories to deter you from actual important ass shit that we should know about. I personally don't know shit about most political stuff, but like, as an example, there's so many people that don't realize, we're about to have the elections, and right to work is a huge deal in our state with Missouri, not only for construction workers, but for teachers, unionized labor forces everywhere. And if you look at states that have passed it, they're fucking broke.
Right.
Like, they're some of the most poverty-riddled states in the country. And I just feel like there's all kinds of, you'll turn it on.
Oh, fuck. Sorry there, partner. Continue.
I feel like there's so many times that the news and television shows showed these bullshit-ass stories about lame-ass shit when it's like, I really could use some information on real-ass shit that's going on right now.
So you're kind of talking about like whenever Ebola came about and they were like just screaming that Ebola's everywhere.
Any little disease that doesn't even fucking kill that many people. Pig flu, swine flu, bird flu,
avian flu, which is the correct name for the bird flu.
Yeah, all kinds of bullshit.
Yeah.
Or just like, Trump and a stripper, or
grab her by the pussy.
Just dumbass shit, or somebody tweeted something ridiculous. I understand there's like, okay, you could maybe even have your own channel for that kind of stuff, but for like mainstream news and shit, I feel like that should be for like, these countries are killing each other right now. This could affect the entire fucking world. This could affect how you live your day-to-day life, not just, here's some useless information you might care about. I feel like that shouldn't be on the news. I feel like that should have its own thing, and news should literally be held to a higher standard of the information that they are sharing.
Now, they already have it. Like, they have, like, local news and stuff. Do you think local news should be, like, strictly about, like, actual events that take place in that?
No,
like...
and that could be local news, too, but even some of the local shit they talk about is stupid. Like, you could have some real shit going on in the city, and they're talking about, there's a fucking kiddie show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nobody fucking cares about that. Why don't you talk about the, like, violence that we have going on downtown or East St. Louis, or why don't you talk about the missing people, or, like, legitimate... I understand that the news can be pretty fucking depressing sometimes, so I'm not saying there's never a time where you need some positive...
Depressing.
Yeah, I'm not saying there can't be some news on some positive-ass shit, but... A lot of the news that I see, I especially notice it when I'm in the gym and I just catch glimpses of it while I'm working around. It's like everything seems like it's on there to either freak you the fuck out or it has no point whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, the daily, day-to-day activities shit that either freaks you out or it really doesn't matter that
Like, I'd rather news get on and be like, not much happened today. We'll see you tomorrow. And that's the news.
Yeah, no, I'd be okay with that. If they just tuned in like, would nothing really happen. I'd be like,
all right,
well,
cool. Now I can go use my day somewhere else.
Yeah.
Not, like, wait for some story or something. It's like, that was fucking retarded.
Yeah.
But that's my conspiracy theory. But, like I said, I think the media does that because there's people... that don't want you to see that stuff.
Right, they just want to keep people sheltered or
Yeah,
out of the
they
loop.
want dumb people voting for stuff because they don't understand. And they feel like that the stuff they do show you will sway you towards the side that they want you to vote for.
So you think that the news, like, sways in one direction or the other?
Yeah, I feel like companies and organizations pay money to different government parties, which then use some of that money to pay off media outlets to deter the viewers' vote one way or the other. Instead of just letting people make their own educated decisions by giving them all the real information.
I agree with you there, actually. I bet you that is what they do.
And it's fucked up because you can't go to the internet and look shit up anymore because the internet's so riddled with fake bullshit now, too, that we are in a time where...
Well, the places you'd look up are the places being paid to show you,
exactly.
sway you in one way or the other.
You've never had the ability to find information as readily available as you do today, and it is immensely tainted with random fake bullshit, and it kind of sucks when you're actually trying to find shit out, because I can't tell you the times I see people post shit and then the next couple comments is like, oh, nope, wrong.
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah,
fake,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, motherfucker, like, can't we just see some real shit?
Yeah.
So that's my conspiracy theory / dumb guy ranting about how hard it is to be a smart guy. Now that that's done, we are going to go ahead and jump into our Tinder Talk, which was provided to us kindly by our friend Sierra.
Yikes.
All right, Austin, what kind of mentally fucked up Tinder Talk do we got this week?
Well, this actually comes from Facebook, not Tinder, so just get that clarified. A man named Tacos with a profile picture of, you guessed it, tacos, messaged Sierra and said, could you marry a taco? And she put, is this question of legality or morality? And he said, morality. And she said, oh yeah, I'd marry the fuck out of a taco. And he said, I need your ring size and preferred cut. And then I guess they talked more, and we didn't get the rest of that. And he put deal Snapchat, and she put, am I going to receive strictly snaps of tacos, taco nudes, ? And he put, nope, you may receive some snaps of a guy you hopefully think is super cute. And then you'll let me stuff your face with tacos while I mention how good your eyeliner works. So, one, if you are on Facebook...
and you get approached by a talking taco...
know that dude is a weird guy.
And probably isn't that attractive if he feels that a pile of tacos is more appealing than his face.
Now, I was going to say, if you are a person who you're you, think about you right now. Think as you. You're about to get your first Facebook. You write your name as Tacos and you make your profile picture Tacos.
I imagine this is a separate account he has just for messaging girls. Aside from
you think this is like
he has this account just to message people?
Oh, so this isn't like his personal account?
Not at all.
Okay.
If he does, that's some serial killer shit.
I think it's more serial killer to make a separate account called Tacos to hit on people.
Yeah, that's fucked up too, but obviously he probably has his own account that's him.
Right.
And this is just what he uses to approach people because he's insecure about himself.
He sounds soft. Maybe he's a soft taco.
He's a soft taco.
He's a soft taco.
Sounds like it.
Probably.
Doesn't even have any pico in it.
No pico whatsoever. He can't handle the spice because he obviously doesn't have any fire moves talking to the ladies other than using pictures of tacos because tacos are delicious. And if you don't think so, get out of my goddamn country.
And the other thing that makes me think he's super beta is I'm not saying I'm not going to drop a real good compliment on a girl, and he almost kind of moved in cleanly with the no, you're going to reef snaps from a guy you hopefully think is super cute.
I would have left it there.
Yeah, I can totally see how that would be like, oh, this guy's kind of clever. Okay. I mean, I respect tacos. I'm a taco fan.
Yeah.
And so I could see that. If he would have left it right there, I would have said that was a pretty clean transition. But then he follows it up by, and you'll let me stuff your face with tacos while I mention how good your eyeliner works. Number one, that's a flaw in his grammar. It should be how well your eyeliner works. And number two, I'm not going to compliment a woman on how well performing his makeup is, because does he have experience with I don't know if an eyeliner is working well or not.
If I'm going to compliment a woman on her makeup, because obviously, well, you would know, because you would see a girl
I'd
with
say
eyeliner
be like, yo,
and be like,
you have really nice makeup.
Yeah, her makeup looks good. You don't know, like, the individual, like, specs, but you could tell if somebody knows what they're doing with eyeliner or not. But to compliment a girl's makeup, per se, but right before that, you say, I'm going to stuff your face with tacos?
Sounds kind of aggressive.
Yeah, that seems like a real forceful move.
And I'd be like, you might think he's cute, and then I can feed you tacos. Like, that's a little better. Not, I'm going to stuff your face with them.
Yeah, and it's not like...
That's kind of like the one we went over a couple weeks ago where he's like, do you like big cock? Do you want to choke on a big cock? Well, motherfucker, I would have enjoyed this taco till you shoved it in my fucking face.
Right. So, you can see people have kind of a rhythm that they get into. If we have a guy who's like that, you like big dick? You want a big dick down your throat?
Yeah,
this dude's like, you like tacos? Yeah. You want me to shove tacos down your throat?
They're like, they get a foot in the door, and then with the other foot, they just kick the motherfucker down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then the person's just like, bro, why'd you kick my fucking door down? I would have opened it.
And let's look at it where it says, we've been saying I'm going to stuff your face with tacos, but it says, and then you'll let me stuff your face with tacos. Insinuating that she's going to give consent.
He's hoping she will let him fucking
force feed her
Nick Foles tacos from across the room down her gullet.
I would actually, you know what? I actually want to see that happen.
That would make for some interesting Facebook Live.
What I want you to do, Sierra, is I want you to actually talk to this dude, but get it across that all you want him to do is hit you with tacos repeatedly.
See if he's into that kind of thing.
I mean, his name is Tacos.
I'm not trying to knock people's thing or anything, but it comes across as a guy whose sexual activities involve tacos and not the kind that you already have.
Yeah, we're not insinuating a vagina as a taco. We're literally meaning tacos. He's into tacos.
He wants you to put a taco in your taco and then fuck the actual edible taco, which you have an edible taco too.
Is that tacoception?
Is that a threesome?
Debatable.
If you put a taco on top of a girl's vagina and fuck both of them, is that
a
double penetration?
Oh boy, is that DP porn?
It's a DP threesome.
Is it a trace?
2 tacos, 1 shaving can. Shaving cream can.
Shaving cream can. Okay.
Well, thank you, Sierra and Taco, for the interesting conversation. If you have some fucked up Snapchats or Tinder conversations, Plenty of Fish Facebook, I really don't give a fuck what it is. If you got some fucked up things that a complete stranger has sent you, or somebody you've even been talking to and all of a sudden realize you were talking to an insane psychopath, send them to us so we can talk about it on the podcast, and we can shout you out or we can keep you private if you prefer that. But we really like to see this kind of fucked up shit, and people like to hear about it, so please hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We'll have all of our links in the description, but send us that stuff so we can talk about it and continue having this awesome segment. I really enjoy it, and I hope that you guys do too.
And let's move on to our newest segment, and one of the ones that I find really appealing, debatables.
So we've been coming up with these lately. They're just simple little bullshit debates that we go over, just trying to create some conversation. Austin.
Yeah.
If you had to pick, you only get one for the rest of your life, would you rather be without music or without television?
Let me ask, do podcasts fall under music?
Yes. Audio listening entertainment.
Well,
would you rather have purely audio entertainment, or you could have it where you can't listen to just audio, everything you have to watch has to be through a video format?
That changes it. I would have to go with music then. I would have to stick with that because I listen to music way more than I watch TV, and I would probably listen to music more frequently then, and then listen to podcasts like when I'm at home.
And I'm in the same boat. I listen to podcasts and listen to music now more. Really the only thing... I will watch occasional television shows, and there are ones that I like, but I use screen time mostly for... I watch more like YouTube and Live League videos than I do actual TV shows, probably.
I would say I probably watch more YouTube videos than I watch TV shows.
Most of my stuff is over the internet, but like you also got to think that means like no more Netflix either, because that's technically like watching TV.
No, it is watching TV. Yeah, no, I figured anything like on screen, like there wouldn't be YouTube.
Yeah.
If you chose, I would say that no video.
Anything.
There's no videos.
Now there is one thing that would sway that if you put video games into that.
No, video games are out of it. Video games you can still play. But also, if you go with no videos, no more porn, it'd be audio porn.
Ooh. Or you just gotta be really good at having sex.
Yeah, or have a good imagination.
A pretty good imagination.
Mine's alright.
Yeah, I can come up with some shit.
But man, like no I don't know. I don't know, man.
You just listen to tennis matches, women's tennis.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, like they do on Pardon My Take all the time.
Yeah.
My next debatable would be, if at birth you could choose whether you were a boy or a girl, would you go ahead and pick boy or would you pick girl? Now, the thing with this is, imagine being a baby and having no inclination of what life would be like as either a male or a female.
See, when I actually brought this one to you, and I said you get to choose, but you have a full consciousness already. Like, you know how the world works. Okay. You get to choose to be a boy or a girl.
So it's like you're a baby, and God's there. He's like, okay, here's your two options, all right?
Yeah.
You can be like this, or you can be like this. What do you want?
Yeah, and this is what, I mean, he's going to give you pros and cons on both.
Yeah.
And you get to decide. So let's go ahead and do like a pros and a cons
on both this is boys very sexist.
And girls.
But we're here to be objectionable, and, you know, these are the things that people refuse to talk about.
Yeah. And we're talking about it.
So let's break it down a little bit.
Let's start with boys. Let's go ahead and knock on the boys.
Let's do it this way. We're gonna do a positive for each and then a negative for each, and we'll go back and forth. That way, it's not like the women aren't sitting here listening to us like talk up one side and then bash another or anything. We're gonna get positives on both and a negative on both, and a positive on both and a negative
until
on
we
both.
run out.
Until we just get tired of doing it and we feel like it's taking too much time. So, a positive for men. We generally are the physically stronger.
Typically, yeah.
Typically. Yeah. I'm not saying there's girls out there.
So, wait, do you want us both to give a positive for boys, then both give a positive for girls, or one positive between the two of us?
We could do, each of us do one.
Okay. Mine would be easily sexually pleased.
I could see that. Men usually require a lot less to be pleasured.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I can understand that. A pro for a woman would be, yikes. No, there's definitely plenty of that. I guess they get to basically decide whether or not they're going to provide you with children.
Yeah.
They could kind of, if all the women kind of just said, fuck you guys, we're not having kids anymore, then the world's just going to come doing it. So shout out to women for doing that for us.
Yeah. Mine was going to be able to withhold sex. Women can do that to men. I mean, unless you're
I could do that to a girl, too. I could just say, fuck you, I ain't fucking you.
Yeah, but how long
guys would be less willing to do that, I feel like, because I feel like men typically, but there's chicks out there that like to fuck.
Yeah, no, but they could also say, yeah, no.
Yeah, that's
they
not really
definitely have a high...
That's not something a woman has over...
I would say they have a stronger willpower towards it than men do.
I think you're right, too. I feel like women are less susceptible to seduction than men would be.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. Women are less
easily seduced.
Yes.
A negative for women, they can pretty much decide whether or not to have children, so that's a lot of pressure. So it's kind of the same thing. It's both a positive and a negative. They got to go through a hellacious task of delivering children, which I am fortunate that I don't have to do. So shout out women on both the sex and taking the risk of bearing the children.
Main load.
Yeah.
Mine's going to be periods. They have to deal with periods every month.
That is a negative thing. I'm sure no girl is enjoying the fact that they have to deal with that.
Negatives about guys, I would say most men are like compensating masculinity. Like a lot of men are like dickheads.
Yeah.
Like even like me, like I've had times where like I don't think of it in the moment, but I'm really just masking, like I'm trying to cover up and be more masculine.
I actually have a book on that I got for Christmas last year by this guy named Lewis Howes called The Mask of Masculinity, The Mask of Masculinity. And it talks about actually how this is actually will go into a negative for men. Men are more likely to commit suicide than women because they say that men are socially inclined based on how we've been raised over the past however many years and stuff like that. But he also said it's kind of like a genetic thing based off through trying to be alpha. Like that's a natural, you try to establish dominance, is men try so hard to be masculine that they suppress a lot of the feminine feelings, and it can cause like actual emotional and chemical imbalances that cause them to want to commit suicide.
Gotcha.
So another plus for a guy would be let me think of some actual like
I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
Mine is less body care. Men don't have to shave their legs or arms. Like, not even have to, but that's, like, kind of the culture we're in now. Like, people are, like, most women shave their legs and arms or whatever they feel like shaving.
I'm going to kind of flow into yours also with that. We need less products to improve our image.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I pretty much just grow a beard.
Yep.
Or if you can't grow a beard, you just got to kind of work out a little bit, and that's all you really got to do. Women have makeup, they have perfumes, they have way more hair products that they need if they happen to have long hair. Someone that have shorter hair, but men generally require less upkeep.
Yeah.
A positive now for a girl.
Yes, positive for women.
They do say that women are a lot more intelligent when it comes to just not making decisions that will keep them alive. They're better survivalists, not in the sense that, like, I obviously could go into the woods and hunt and gather and survive, but I will also do some stupid shit
to do that.
And that's where women are like, no, you'll fucking die, you're stupid, and I'm not doing that. And so women have the inept ability to realize when they shouldn't do something.
Yeah.
And that's part of probably the masculinity thing for men. It's like, oh, I'll fucking do it, bro.
Right. A positive for females. It seems like nowadays women are much more comfortable with complimenting each other. Like I mean, like, you look on Instagram when a girl, like, posts a picture and, like, her friend comments, like, oh my god, you're so beautiful, you're so good.
Hot, those titties are looking so good. But if I was like, bro, your dick looks nice today.
Yeah, that bulge is sweet. Like, we can't do that. We can't do that.
I actually had another positive for a woman thinking about that. They have, I mean, men could do this, but they have certain money-making opportunities that are a little harder for a man to accomplish.
Yeah. Like porn
and stripping and stuff like that. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying that all girls should or have to do it, but it's an opportunity for select few to have that probably is a more sought-after position than male versions.
I actually believe the actual statistic, I actually read an article about this. I believe, like, the average female porn star, like actual porn star, like known ones, they're like average salary wages between like $150,000 to $250,000 annually, and a male's ranges from 50 to 75.
I actually think I saw an article like that, and they actually talked about, though, that gay on either side make more than the straights do because it's
gay for pay.
Yeah, it's how it is. They're not going to hustle. So then we do
a negative for females now.
A negative for females. A negative for females. They tend to get stuck with a lot more of the basic lifestyle. How would I put this? Basically, they get stuck like a lot more with a female role. Yeah, like a housewife role.
Right.
They get stuck. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. They tend to have to pick up after the rest of the family, scheduling things, getting children to where they need to go and stuff like that, where men typically take on the role of go to work, make the money, come home, and then do whatever physical stuff there is to do.
Right.
But
I was going to say the negative for women, as bad as it is the wage, like, gaps that you can see. Like, obviously there are areas where men do get paid higher than women, but that's because, and this is why it's a negative, people view it like that. People go, well,
it's
the
just
girls
a social stigma.
Yeah. I'm not agreeing with it, but I'm saying that is a stigma that women do deal with, and that's why it's a negative.
Yeah.
Not that it shouldn't be fixed. I believe that is something that should be fixed, but currently it's not.
So then we need one more negative for men. Then we can move on to the next one.
Yeah.
So one more negative.
Well, we got to choose which one we would be then.
I would probably still choose a boy because I kind of like being a dude.
I would do it out of biasness just because I am a dude.
Yeah.
But like if I had a blank slate,
I would consider it maybe.
Yeah, I would consider it.
Like,
that's
I would
why,
have to sit there and be like,
Tony Romo it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need one more negative for guys. We're pretty fucking gross.
I'm going to go off the Jim Jeffries joke is also how women get stuck with the social stigma of the housewife role is, and I'm not saying all guys do this because there's probably plenty of girls that get stuck with shithead guys that have to do it, but I feel like I end up having to pay for a lot more of the stuff because I just feel like that I need to.
Yeah.
And so it comes to that little provider role that men feel. So it'd be one of those things.
It's weird to view that as a negative, though. Because, like, I enjoy.
No,
doing
I
that.
actually enjoy doing it, but when you're sitting there choosing, like, I'm going to have to spend way more money on women to like me if I choose a guy, or I could be the woman and hopefully get decent guys and get money spent on me.
Yeah.
And then as you get deeper, the way I look at it is when I'm first dating or something like that, I will want to spend the money. But I've actually read articles that say women actually like it when you allow them to pay once in a while because it shows that you need them as a partner. Or you're not just like,
you're not dominating.
You're mine, I'm taking care of you. It's we're working together as partners. And so that's why. But typically when I would first start dating, I wouldn't let them pay for anything. I was like, I'm fucking paying for anything, blah blah blah. You stick around long enough, I'll let you start paying for stuff. That's the way, just how I did it. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, that's just how I happen to do it.
Gotcha.
But moving on to my last debatable I have on here, and this is kind of a sports one again. Do you think we will ever get another LeBron or MJ type player in our lifetime? And a side note to that, do you ever think there could be a player like that in another major sport? So as dominant as like Michael Jordan and LeBron and Kobe and those kind of players were, do you think you could have a player in the NHL scoring like 200 goals in a season, or a running back in the NFL that can literally score 5 touchdowns a game and just people cannot stop the motherfucker? Do you think there could be as super of an athlete in a sport as, I guess really Tom Brady is as close to a Michael Jordan, LeBron as you've had? But let me ask you this. Do you think Tom Brady could go to any other team and do that? Or do you think that team is built as a team from the ground up to win those Super Bowls?
You'd have to see him on another team.
And it'll be eager to see what the Lakers do this year, because if the Lakers end up going to the finals, you could literally talk about LeBron took 3 fucking teams to the finals that weren't going there before he got there.
Right. And that's why I was talking about that. Like, he is a player, and I think he's the only one who's done it, to get on a team, and when he's on that team, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's
like,
just
that's
he's
all,
the one
that's all
player.
it took.
Yeah.
It took one guy. They're making the playoffs.
And that's where I would say hockey would be the only other sport where you could have something similar to that happen, because it's the closest to the same amount of men on at the same time. They have the goalie, obviously.
Right.
But in football, you have 11 guys on each side of the field at the same time. In hockey, you have 6 if you count the goalies. Soccer, is completely different. You have dominant people in soccer, but basketball seems to be the sport where you can see one guy literally take.
And I would think it's because the one dude, there's one ball, the one dude would keep it and score it and play defense and then get the ball again and score it again. I mean,
the moving mechanics of basketball are different than the scoring mechanics and stuff too.
Yeah.
I guess you should say baseball too. There's also 11 guys on the baseball thing. But can you imagine?
But I think it could happen in baseball. If you got a dude who can just crank fucking homers,
they just start throwing. That's the difference. So they have a way around that. They could just not pitch to him ever again.
Well, he's always a man on base then.
True.
Every time he comes up, you have a guy. Yeah, he'd have the highest on base.
But if he's on a team that struggles, he might get on base every time and just never score, though.
Oh, yeah. So he really wouldn't be much of an influence whether or
it's
not
not
the team
influencing
makes it or not.
that game. LeBron, it doesn't matter who's there. He will influence that game.
Yeah.
If you had somebody on a team, you had the Gretzky's, like, it doesn't matter. He's going to impact that
Sidney
game.
Crosby, as much as I hate him.
Yeah, you got Connor McDavid right now.
Yep.
He's impacting the fucking game regardless of where you put that motherfucker. Do you think you'll have, not necessarily even another basketball player, but how many more people do you see in our lifetime completely change a sport? I could see 1 or 2.
I could see 1 or 2. I just don't know what sport. Like, because I think we're in the prime time of it of basketball right now with players like KD, Curry, LeBron. Kobe's gone now, but he was in there. He was one of the guys who changed it. Wade, Rose when he first came in, but now he keeps getting hurt. And then, like, there were so many players in the NBA that when they came in, people were like, this dude's crazy. Harden, Westbrook averaging for 2 seasons a triple-double every game.
Fucking gnarly.
It's fucking crazy. Like, those are statistics people just did not think they'd ever see.
Yeah.
And now they're seeing them. So basketball right now, I think that's the sport you're going to see things like that happen in, because I think it's not that basketball isn't hard, but it's the easiest one, I would say, to
For one individual
to impact.
I agree. All right, well, that covers up our debatable, and we're going to jump into the end of the podcast, is where we were going to review our beer that we've been drinking today.
I'm not made for paving long roads. I ain't cut out to climb highline poles, but I'm pretty good at drinking beer.
Today, we are drinking Farmstand Peach Ale by Public House Brewing Company, and that is also in Missouri.
Yep.
That's kind of the thing we've been doing, is trying to find a bunch of beers in Missouri to do our reviews.
This is out of St. James, Missouri. It is an ale brewed with peaches.
Mm-hmm, by the name.
Yep. Easy drinking, golden, delectable, fresh, and sun-dried.
It is a 5.3 alcohol by volume. They come in 12 fluid ounce bottles. The bottle looks like your basic
brown beer bottle.
Yeah. Not like a Bud Light. It's actually a little bit shorter and fatter.
Yeah, it's similar to a lot of IPA beers.
Yes. And I can't really tell the color. That's how dark it is. I can't tell if it's light. It feels light, so I'm assuming it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a heavy beer, and it is an ale, so it probably is light. I actually really like this one.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It doesn't have a super strong peach flavor.
Yeah.
But it has that fruity, kind of juicy flavor to it.
And it actually even has the glass that it's best served in on the back. I don't know if you've ever noticed that on some.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's plenty of bottles and they actually have that on there saying that's the one that would give it the best aroma. So the bottle itself is extremely, like, bland, actually.
Yeah.
It's just a picture that says their name and has 2 peaches on it on a stem.
With the Public House logo.
Yeah, and then another sticker on the back, and that's it.
So it actually could be branded maybe a little different to make it more appealing. It literally kind of looks like a beer some farmer brewed at his farm and just took it to the farmer's market and sold it.
I will say the reason it caught my eye, because I actually grabbed a different beer before these. I actually grabbed, I can't even remember what it was, but I grabbed something else and I was walking out of the beer aisle and I looked over, and in the 6-packs, these ones are fully boxed.
Oh, wow.
The 6-packs. They don't have, like, the open handle where you carry it. It's a box. And I was like, what is that thing? So the box is very appealing because it's a bright orangey color and it looks kind of rustic.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like it has stains all over the box. So that brought me in, but when I took the bottles out, they're much less appealing.
Gotcha. As far as a rating, what would you give this beer out of 10?
Out of 10, I would probably give this one 6.7.
6.7? I'm going to give this one... I'm going to give this one a 6.8.
6.8?
Yep, right there. I really do like it, though. So I'm just going to bump it up a little bit. I feel like I said, you definitely have a wider palate for the beer tasting, so I feel like mine, I don't know, I like to just give a little more play one way or the other. But yeah, solid 6.75 average score. And as always, our beers are brought to you by Barrel's Taphouse in O'Fallon, Missouri. 109 beers on tap. They are located at 6726 North Highway N in O'Fallon, Missouri. That's right at the intersection of Highway K and Highway N. They have an amazing staff, amazing food. They got all kinds of new items. They just rebranded. Go check it out. They have a new patio where they have some awesome tables with umbrellas, pet friendly on the patio. They got a nice party room that you can enjoy in a small arcade to keep the kids occupied. Awesome jukebox for some good music. So be sure and go in there, check it out, and you can also pick up an Inside the Pocket t-shirt. Support the podcast, support the sponsors, and that's our show.
Yeet.
Inside the pocket of a clown. It is a sad place to